Oh, hello, my YouTube friends. I am back with yet another video, and this time we are going to look at assembling the forklift that was painted in a previous video. This forklift will be used in the new scrapyard diorama I am building. I'm starting by getting my super glue ready, and this tube has seen better days. So the glue has formed almost like a gel, and I must be honest, I quite like the gel super glue as it does not set instantaneously. It gives you a little bit of working time that you can maneuver your model around and place the items exactly where you need them to be. So with the forklift, I'm starting with the easier parts, and that is just to glue the forks to the backing frame, and I'm applying the glue with a hypodermic needle that gives me very fine control. I've squeezed some glue out on a old pill bottle cap that you can see has been used for mixing some paint as well, and then I just pick up the glue from there with the hypodermic needle, and there I'm placing the first fork in place on the frame, and the second one will have to be placed very carefully and maneuvered to make it sit on the same level, that I don't have one that is skew with one fork higher than the other. So I am trying to place it on that frame, and in the glue that was placed there by the hypodermic needle, and then putting it flat so I can now see right is the two forks sitting level. Once it is level, I can make sure that it is looking centered. If I look from the front of the fork, are the two forks equally spaced, making very sure that it looks good, and it looks equally spaced. So I can now just check and make sure everything is tight, and leave the glue to dry on that model or part of the model, and then we go to add the wheels to the body. Now here I first just test fit, and you see I just tried to put it over, and I realized, hang on, that little hole that is printed in the wheel as it was printed is not the correct size. So I'm going to have to drill out each and every wheel. So I measure the axle with a vernier, and then I measure a drill bit that is very close to the same size. In fact, about a half, not even half a millimeter, 0.005 millimeters larger. So the axle is 0.9, and I use a 0.95 millimeter drill bit to ream out the holes in the wheels, so that the wheels will fit over the axle and allow a little bit of space for some glue to seep in to hold the wheels very tightly. Again, I'm using some of the gel-like glue that seemed to have now dried on the bottle cap. So I'm using straight from the tube with a different hypodermic needle, one that's a bit thicker, that I use to break through the hardened glue. If I open a tube and the glue hardens inside the neck or so, I use that thicker hypodermic needle very carefully that it doesn't burst through and stick into my fingers, which has happened on occasion. But being careful always pays off in the end. So I am now adding the second wheel after drilling out the holes, or hole, it's a single wheel. Drilling out the hole there, and then we shall add some glue to the body of the forklift on the axle, and we shall insert the wheel. And while I'm busy with the drill bit, I will also drill out the front wheels, because the forklift has two different size wheels. The rear wheels, which are for steering, is much smaller than the front wheels, which is to drive the forklift back and forward. And Normally the small wheels turn easier and allows for the forklift to have a very tight turning circle. And so here I start drilling the driving wheels, or the larger wheels that will go on the front of the forklift. And I won't assemble them yet or put them in place yet, as there are other things that are easier to do and that needs to be done before these wheels can be put in place. So again, making sure that the hole is reamed out properly, and I'm drilling with a pin vise and a drill, as using an electric miniature drill. I will probably drill right through the wheel, as it is a very, very fine hole that needs to be drilled and not very deep. So once I'm satisfied, I will put that wheel down and move on to the next step. And that again is adding some glue to a part, and this time we are gluing the seat in place. And recall, in the previous video we did not paint the underside of the seat, so that there will be space for the glue to adhere to the seat without adhering to paint, and then later on tearing the paint off and the seat coming off. So this is now glue straight onto the seat, and then the seat was installed, and thereafter we go back to the body to install the front frames for the forks, telescopic frame, or whatever you want to call it. I did know that part's name, but I cannot recall it now, as it's been many years since I have worked with forklifts and among forklifts. And I used to know all the part names, but unfortunately old age is not kind to memory, and I cannot recall the name of that specific part anymore. So now we come to the stage where we install the front wheels, and as you can see, they're a bit bigger. So I'm trying to install them with my hand, if only I can hold on to them. And the tweezer is still handy to help. And the first wheel is on, second wheel pressed on, and let the glue dry for a few seconds, which is still the gel type glue, or the old liquid glue that has thickened a bit. And now we're going to add the frame with the forks. Make sure there's enough glue on the telescopic part, and then make sure we have that frame with the forks, and we place it again, making sure it is centered and at the height that we want it off the ground. And again, I'm thankful for the gel-like glue that gives me an opportunity to move the fork up and down a bit. And there we have the fork. Now there's still two parts left to install, and that is the dashboard, which has not been painted. And believe you me, there is a reason for that, as the whole of the bottom needs to be glued, and if there's paint on there, it's going to make it more difficult to have the glue adhere to the piece. So that will be brush painted later, as I do the touch up on the rest of the pieces that have lost a bit of paint during the assembly process, or even that have missed some paint during the painting process. And the last piece to be installed is the steering wheel, and the steering wheel has got like little pins on both sides, so I need to determine which side is the bottom to glue that to the dashboard. I know it's not very visible. This is the first time I'm using this phone mount, that I can actually mount the phone directly above where I'm working, so I'm still experimenting, and hopefully next videos will be better in a larger, more zoomed in on the small pieces. So I'm still learning. And there you can see a picture of the forklift closed up, and the painting touch-up has not been done. That will be done before the model goes onto the module. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends.